Hello everyone, Steve here, back again with another tabletop baseball video. Let me get this thing set up and we can get started. So the topic today is ballpark baseball. I have recorded a couple of other videos related to ballpark baseball. One was kind of an introductory video just explaining how the game is designed. And then more recently, I attempted to record a video that explained in very basic terms how the game is played. To be honest, that did not go well, and I ultimately took that video down. I'm going to try again today. This time I am actually going to use a script, and maybe we'll just move on here to the next slide. But before I do, I've kind of modified the script here based on some materials that I had available, and we'll be simulating the 2004 St. Louis Cardinals against the 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates. So there are some resources available out on the internet for ballpark baseball, but there really aren't any good demo videos. Hopefully this will change that. My first video is listed here at the top of the page. I'll provide these links in the description. That's where I reviewed the game. And then there is information on the Delphi Forums. There's actually a ballpark baseball group with a lot of good information if you're willing to dig through it. Board Game Geek has a section on ballpark baseball. And then there's a relatively new Facebook group for ballpark baseball as well. You will see at the top of this page a gear icon and a 1.5x. You know, when I record my videos, my speaking style is very deliberate. One could say slow. You know, you can be more efficient listening to my videos if you speed up the audio replay. There's ways to do that, and you know, feel free to do that. But I'm going to be intentionally deliberate today, just because of the nature of what I'm trying to convey here. Information about my YouTube channel is down below. I always make the PowerPoints for these videos available on my Google Drive. You just have to let me know. Most importantly, I'm looking forward to any comments you have, especially if I continue to have problems explaining this game accurately. So comments are encouraged and welcome, and you can like and subscribe if you want. Okay. Bill Priester was a guy who, up until he died a few years ago, spent a lot of time providing materials related to ballpark baseball. It was one of his passions, and he did a couple of different supplements to the original play manual, and I've kind of just shown a screenshot up here of one of them. It was called the Ballpark Baseball Gamer's Manual, and it's a very essential read if you're going to try to play this game. He also came up with something called the Newcomer's Playbook, which was basically you know, a supplement that showed how to interpret the various result types that are on the player cards. And those two things together can get you a long way toward understanding ballpark baseball, in addition to the original play manual. And then, as I list at the bottom here, there was a sample inning document or post that he had made on Delphi Forums. And I have taken that document and put it in a Word document, edited it a little bit for readability, and then I actually created a PDF of that, and I can make that available if someone is interested. That sample inning document is the basis or the script for today's video. Without further ado, let's get started. So in ballpark baseball, there is a pregame routine where you're supposed to roll the dice or generate a random number to determine what the potential weather conditions are. I am no expert in this part of the game, but that's part of the pregame ritual. Today's game, as I said, is going to be the Pirates and the Cardinals. We're going to play this game at Forbes Field. Matt Morris is going to be the pitcher for the Cardinals. He's right-handed, and Vernon Law, who's also right-handed, I guess, is going to be the pitcher for the Pirates. And with that, let's get going. So we have the Cardinals are the visitors, and we have Tony Womack leading off for the Cardinals. So ballpark baseball is run or generated. The results are generated using random numbers 1 to 50. There's different ways you can generate those random numbers. I suppose you could work up some dice to do that or what have you. Regardless, I'll just refer to these as random numbers or dice rolls. So he rolls a 17, and since the bases are empty, as you can see in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you look at the columns that are against the right-hand pitcher, which is Vernon Law, and nobody on base. And result number 17 is a TL7, which is a Texas League single to left field. So we have a runner on base right away. There goes the no-hitter. Okay, with ballpark baseball, as we'll see, there are a number of strategy choices that you have, both as the offensive manager and the defensive manager. And I'll just give you an example for this walkthrough that in this case, we're going to have the third baseman play halfway in, just in case there's a bunt. The rest of the infield is going to be at normal depth. We have the first baseman holding the runner on. And we're for the defense, they could opt for a pickoff or pitch out attempt, but we are not going to do that. The other defensive choice, the other offensive choice is how aggressive you want your runners to be. And there's kind of, I think, an in-between, as I understand it, called wait and see. Normal is normal aggressiveness, and obviously hold is kind of a passive approach. But we're gonna do wait and see, and you'll see in a minute what the implications of that are. The offense could also employ some other strategy options like stealing, hit and run, and bunt, but those are beyond the scope of today's video. A lot of us like to play these sims solitaire, and there are some homebrew solitaire charts, I guess I would say, that help you through that. Maybe analogous to auto managers in other games, I'm not sure. And as I understand it, later editions of the playbook had an actual solitaire defensive chart built into the playbook, which, as I've heard from someone, that was actually better than the homebrew one that you'll find out in the public domain. So those are our strategies with the runner on, nobody out. Batter number 2 is Jim Edmonds. The random number is 18. Numbers 1 to 25 could come from the batter card. There is a runner on, so we're going to look at the far right column of his card. And number 18 corresponds to a 2B star 9, which is a double to right field. Okay. So that means Womack is going to advance to third, but there's a possibility that he could score, and so I believe the asterisk is what creates or indicates the option for additional advancement. And the way base runner advancement works here is there is a chart or a set of tables in the instructions, and there's a section on advancing from first base. And so you have to do a little math here. So the 2B star, which was the result, regardless of where it was hit, is a 1. So you need that number 1. And then you need the base runner's speed rating, and you add those two together, and then you subtract the number of outs. And in this case, we're going to assume that Womack's base runner rating was a 5. We're going to add 1 for the 2B star result. There are no outs, so we don't have to subtract anything there. And we actually then have to use that number with that sum, which is 6. And as you can see, the 6 here says if there are 2 outs, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, runner must try for home. So Womack is going to have to try for home, and it says use column A. And you'll see on the next page, there is an advancement chart, and it has a column A on the left and a column B on the right. Now, because we said at the beginning, when Womack got on base, that we're in a wait and see mode in terms of our base running aggressiveness, we actually, instead of reading the result from column A, we're going to read the result column B, and it's really an option for Womack to advance. In this case, in this example, we're going to hold the lead runner, and we'll therefore have runners at second and third. But as you can see, here's that advanced chart that I was talking about, and column A is on the left, column B is on the right, and it's basically, as I understand it, there's the must advance, which is on the left, and any may advance is on the right. Okay, so we have second and third. Batter number 3 is Ray Lankford. And the defensive strategy we're going to employ here is the infield and outfield at normal position, and the runners are in normal mode. Lankford rolls a random number of 23, and that comes from the batter card. And if you look in the lower right corner of the screen, that is an MF8, which means Lankford has hit a medium fly ball to center field, and therefore there's 1 out. Now, on a flyout, we have to determine whether or not there is any advancement. And so there's a section of the instructions which talks about advancing or scoring on flyouts. And remember, we have a runner on third, so this could be a sacrifice fly situation. So you have to do some more math. You have to take a number that relates to the type of fly ball you have, how deep it is. So short fly is 16, medium fly is 10, and then it goes all the way over to deep fly, which is a 4. So we have medium fly of 10. We have the speed of the base runner, which we saw before was 5. We have to subtract the arm rating of the outfielder who caught the ball, and then whatever the total becomes, that is how you read this chart below. And I'll let you just study that for a second, but we're focused on the runner at third. And the math here is we have the medium fly of 10, the base running speed of 5, that gives you 15, minus the arm rating of 1, which we're assuming the center, I think it's the center fielder, has an arm rating of 1. So we're now at 14. And basically, this says the runner may try to advance using column A of the must advance chart. Womack tries to score. He rolls a 41, and the 41 on the advancement chart is as you can see the excerpt below, says if arm of fielder is 1 to 3, then the runner is out. Otherwise, he is safe. And then there's a whole bunch of other detailed scenarios there. But since the outfielder's arm is a 1, The runner is out, and as shown in the box below, the other runner holds at second base. So we have a runner still on second, but Womack was out trying to score in the sacrifice fly. So here we have batter number 4. We're going to keep the defensive and offensive strategy the same at normal position, normal mode. And there's a random number of 40. Well, since it's 40, it's read off of Vernon Law's pitcher card. And result number 40 with a runner on is a wild pitch. So there is a wild pitch, and the runner goes to third base. Batter number 4. You have to, since there was a wild pitch, you basically re-roll. And this time the random number was 33. So again, we're on the pitcher card. We're against the right-hand batter, I believe. Let's hope. With a runner on, and the result is an L9, which is as I understand it, a long fly to right or a liner to right field. L is one of those types of results where you have to get the result off the ballpark card. And the 9 means it's going to right field. So what we have to do is go to the L section of the Forbes Field card or chart. And since it's to right field, we go to the right side of this chart. We have to roll another random number. In this case, it's an 8, and it's a home run. And home runs are one of the things that ballpark baseball customizes to the ballpark itself. So if it was a home run park, these results might be different, and it's different for left, center, and right. So 40% of the time, the ball's hit to right field in Forbes Field under an L. It's going to be a home run, whereas to center field, it's only 6% of the time, and that's largely the fact that in right center field, the ballpark went all the way out to 457 feet. And then there's also some possibilities for triples as well, depending on the dice roll. Let's move on. Batter number 5, we're keeping the defensive strategy at normal position and nobody on base, so we really don't have an offensive strategy. We're rolling a random number 43. It's Roger Cedeno. He's left-hand batter. Nobody on. And so we go off the Vernon Law pitcher card, and it's a pop-up to the shortstop. Now, a PU result differs from a PO result, which is a pop out. This is a pop up. And so we have to check the pop up chart, which is again in the instructions. I've got a screenshot of it down below. And we roll a new random number, and the shortstop's defensive rating is an 8. And so we look in the 8 column, and we see that a random number of 7 equates to a Texas League single plus a 1 base error. So, so we got a runner on second. Batter number 6. Defensive strategy is normal. Now, since we've had a lot of base runners, ballpark baseball has a number of fatigue rules, but one of them is that there can be intra-inning or within the inning fatigue. And if that fatigue happens, then certain results could turn, for example, from outs to hits or what have you. The way you can mitigate that is call for a conference at the mound. There's a limited number of those, and I think the number of those is defined on the catcher's card, if I'm not mistaken. But in any event, the offensive manager here calls a conference at the mound, and that dissipates or mitigates the the intra-inning fatigue. And so we're going to resume with the play, and we get a random number of 26. That also is on the pitcher card. Cody McKay is our left-handed batter. So with a runner on and a 26 result, that's a K, which is a strikeout, and that inning is over. So the Cardinals score 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the first. So our batter number 1, center fielder Bill Verdon. Random numbers 3, it's going to be off of Verdon's card, as you see on the right. Nobody on, so you read the column there where the arrow is. And it's MF7, which is a medium flyout to left field. And Bill Verdon is retired with now 1 out. Okay, second batter, Dick Grote. So 1 out, bases empty. So really no strategy to speak of. Random numbers 2, again, that comes off the batter's card, nobody on. It's a TL8, which is a Texas League single to center field. So before the next batter, we have to set our strategy. The defense is going to have the infield and the outfield at normal depth, and they are going to hold the runner on first. They're not going to attempt to pick off, or pitch out, and no other offensive strategy. It's normal and no steal attempt. That leads us to batter number 3, left-hand batter Bob Skinner, batting with 1 out, 1 on. Random numbers 28. That goes to the pitcher card. Result number 28 on Morris's card against the left-hand batter with a runner on is a D9, which is a drive to right field. Now, D is another type of result that drives you to the ballpark card, no pun intended. There's a section called SF-D. So either SF results, short fly results, or the D results lead you to here. Since it went to right field, Roberto Clemente is a 1 fielder, which is the best. So you read column 1, you roll another random number. It happens to be 38. And as highlighted in the box at the bottom, that's a flyout, and now there are 2 outs. And as similar to the other chart, there is a possibility, depending on the fielder's abilities, particularly their range abilities, but generally, there's a possibility for a hit, and more possibilities for a hit the worse the fielding rating is. Okay, batter number 4, Rocky Nelson, left-hand batter, runner on first. So we've got the normal defense, no pickoff or pitch out. We've got normal mode for runners, no steal attempt. Random number 28, which again is on the pitcher card, and 28 on the pitcher card for Matt Morris is a walk. And so against left-hand batter with runner on, so it's a walk. And this maybe is a time to point out, I explained this better in the other video, but the one thing you need to check after each result is rolled is whether that result may be affected by these so-called control numbers that are at the bottom of the card. So here on the pitcher card we have a walk, but it's possible if Rocky Nelson was a very low walk batter, like say maybe like a Manny Sanguillen for the 71 Pirates, it's possible that walk may be taken away and turned into some other result. As it turns out, Rocky Nelson's card has a control number at the bottom, which says if the result had been a DP, you roll again, and if it's 1 to 19, instead of being a double play result, it's just some other type of generic ground out, which would not be a double play. So you just have to check that. It's kind of a bit beyond the scope of this video to talk about that, but I do talk about it at length in the other video, and it's really one of the nice features about ballpark baseball, where it kind of overcomes the inherent weakness of a 50-50 game engine. Okay, the great one, Roberto Clemente, steps in. He's a right-hand batter. Defense at normal position. No pickoff or pitch out. Runners are in normal mode. No steal attempt. Random number is 21, coincidentally. That's Roberto Clemente's number. And the result for 21 with runners on is T5. It's a tapper to third base. The third baseman is a 5 fielder, we're going to assume. And that basically means he has average range and average error frequency. So T is another one where we refer to the ballpark chart. We refer to the T-SM section, which I'll show you in the next slide. We roll a random number of 37. So this is the T-SM section of Forbes Field. And we said the fielder was a 5, so we go down column 5, and we said, I believe the roll was 37, if I recall correctly. And 37, if you look, and if it's a T, that's a ground out. And I believe that's the third out, so we don't have to worry about runner advancement, but otherwise it would be runners advancing one base if it wasn't the end. So that is a sample inning. It shows you how the ballpark chart is heavily integrated into the play. You can see, it's 50-50 pitcher batter, and there's also columns in each case for the splits. There's also columns for bases empty and runners on. As I said or alluded along the way here, ballpark baseball is a decision-oriented game, and I've listed again a lot of the decisions you have to make, as you can see on the slide here. And as I said, defensive abilities and other ballpark factors can affect many plays. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, if I missed something or messed something up, clarify in the comments, but I'd really, hopefully this video is good enough that it can remain published. And enjoy ballpark baseball. Thanks for listening. Bye.